A good evening, everyone. Well, it's evening from where I'm at. Um, it's been about a week since the last tutorial, and we've been going over Glenn Vilppu's basic figure drawing manual. Uh, we went over chapter 3 last week and had simplified the structure of the figure into, I think, boxy shapes. And in this tutorial today, this is part 4 of the Vilppu drawing manual, and we'll be combining spheres and boxes to and this is more like an exercise. We won't be drawing actual figures. We'll be mainly using the shapes that make up figures and learning how to twist and bend these forms, put a material over it, and just try to find the contours that would combine these shapes. And that would sort of simulate the way you'd see parts of the body combine. Like, say, you like to represent the rib cage as an oval or an ellipse, and you like to represent the hips as a squarish shoebox shape. Then with these exercises, you'll get used to combining these shapes and being able to make these shapes move in space and bend and twist and look a lot more interesting and dynamic. So it shouldn't be a long one, but again, this episode's more of a guide on an exercise to practice and doodle. You do this exercise when you're doodling, when you're not really focused on doing anything serious. It's something like maybe people on the piano when they're practicing and warming up with special keys and scales. This is a sort of exercise to help you hone your skills in making better figure drawings. So we'll go through step 1. And okay, if you see this, hopefully you can see the screen. Yep. We've got our main shapes, the circle and the cube. Now the exercise, look how wonky that is. I've got to practice cubes a bit better, a bit more. So we remember we like to draw through these shapes, get into the habit. So in his drawing manual, he's got these 2 shapes that I've put here. One is of the sphere sitting on top of, hovering above the cube. Now, if we do these shapes again, and put a material, say we dress the material over the top of the sphere, it would sit like so. Now, you see how it fits around that corner of the cube. Now, again, we do another example, but let's make it more like what we'd see on a actual figure. So see this drapery, how it just falls down because of gravity? We'll use this drapery and give it a bit of tightness where there's a hollow area. So this is the basic gist of the exercise. Just combining, again, these spheres and cubes using a taut kind of material. And that material on the human body would be the skin. And then he goes into more exercises. So it gets a bit more advanced. He's got examples of combining the shapes. See how they're overlapped? Now, using the same idea, say I've got a piece of drapery coming up from the top of this corner of this cube, and it sits around the contour of the cube. And here, the sphere will connect to that bottom corner like so. And this overlap, remember how important overlaps were in our last episodes? This overlap here shows us this information where the cube is sitting in front of the sphere. These creases also help to show that there's a area of compression there. Another example, and you just keep on knocking these out, and eventually, if you do so many of them, you'll be able to create your own dynamic figures. So there's a bit of a tautness here where it goes in and out, and then it wraps around the cube. We'll do another one. And don't overthink these, just do what you feel looks correct. So don't spend ages trying to figure out, oh, should I put the crease? Should I put the contour in a bit here or whatever? Just clothe, so to speak, the sphere and the cube. So we've got a compressed area here and our stretch. You could also practice the stretch like so. He doesn't show that, but let's try one here. So if, say, we've got this kind of shape, maybe I want this side to be more compressed and this side to stretch out. Just play with these shapes and have fun. But this doesn't look as dynamic as, say, that. So if you look at this, if I get rid of that, let me quickly erase that. Kind of looks like a neck sitting on, you could make that a rib cage if you extend it out. So for now, don't think too much ahead. Just focus on these basic shapes and combining them together. And try just bending and twisting. See, this one is a little boring. Try really compressed shapes like this, where, say, I've got this bit of the sphere totally bent out of shape, and the back of the sphere is emitted by this cube shape. So just have fun with that. And now his other example is to change the proportions. So I've been using similar proportions. So try things like a small sphere with a large box and see how those two shapes fit together. Okay, now I'll try a huge sphere and a smaller box. Now that's a bit boring. I'll get a bit more inventive and try a small box behind a large sphere. So I'm going to put a compressed shape here, and then maybe play with the contour. And I also should erase that there to show that these two shapes aren't totally separate entities, but they're a combination. So as you can see, compressed parts, contours, combining the shapes. It might come easy to you. It might be a bit difficult, but just keep practicing. And once you've done so many of them, you can start probably looking at the figure and don't worry about proportions. This exercise here, the last one we just did here, we were playing with proportions, but when you've done enough and you look at a figure, say I'm looking behind a figure like so, and pretend this is the neck and the head. See, then you can combine it to make it seem a bit more believable. So obviously it's not an exact anatomically correct human, but you can see that I'm representing the head shape with this sphere and attempting to combine it to the rib cage. Another one, an egg shape for the rib cage, and say this shoebox of a hip shape, combine this. And there's that pinch. And you can even, he doesn't mention this, but practicing these cross contour lines really help you get a sense of form. So the way that some instructors like to explain it is pretending you're a little ant walking across and over the form. So once you've finished your forms, just practice. Pretend like you're 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 an ant just walking over the shapes of forms that you've just put down. Okay? So, like I mentioned before, this one wasn't a long tutorial, and people are probably thankful for that. I know I don't have much patience with long tutorials, but everything I've done up to date have been quite long. This one not so, but you need to understand some basic fundamentals in the other videos that take some time to explain. It's hard to explain it in just 10 minutes, but this one hopefully is a bit easier for you to be patient with and sit through. But also with it's only been about 15 minutes, but it's only been 15 minutes, but spend hours. I can't stress it enough. I say it in the other videos. Just spend hours on little exercises like this. And I find that with doodling, it helps you get confidence with your line work and just getting down to the act of drawing. I remember when I used to go to Life Drawing, you'd see the blank sheet of paper and you'd think, oh, I don't want to, where do I start? With anything, just put something down. This is one quote I remember someone saying is, every line you put down is a mistake that you just need to correct. So don't expect to have something perfect the first time around. Just keep on, just get into the habit of putting pen to paper and practicing, and not, I still do this to this day, is just sort of procrastinate and holding off doing anything until you've got no other escape and you just have to face the music, so to speak, and do the work. But this shouldn't be considered work. It should be an enjoyable pursuit because you're learning to create. And it's a very human experience, I believe, but now we're getting philosophical. And on that point, I'll leave this exercise to you guys to practice to your heart's content, and I'll see you next time with the next part of the Vilpu drawing manual. Take care.